Commander Rhea Asari watched the alien fleet through the main view screen of the CSS Defiance, her ship, her responsibility, and quite possibly humanity's last hope. 37 Vraxian warships formed a threatening crescent before her lone vessel, their sleek obsidian hulls absorbing starlight like black holes against the backdrop of distant nebulae. "They're hailing us again, Commander," Lieutenant Park announced from the communications station. The young officer's voice remained professional, but Rhea could hear the underlying tension. "Put them through," she ordered, straightening her posture. The view screen flickered, revealing Supreme War Leader Draz Keel of the Vraxian Imperium, a towering figure with chitinous grey skin and 4 glowing yellow eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed across his ceremonial armor as he regarded the human commander with unconcealed disdain. "This charade grows tiresome. Human." The alien's voice resonated through the bridge, mechanically translated, yet still dripping with contempt. "One obsolete vessel against the might of a Vraxian battle cluster. Your species' capacity for self-delusion is remarkable." Rhea maintained her calm expression despite the murmurs from her bridge crew. "The Terran Confederation stands by our claim to the Epsilon Eridani system, War Leader. We were here first, and will be here last." The alien's upper eyes narrowed, while the lower pair widened a Vraxian expression of amusement. "Your colonists have one planetary rotation to evacuate before we cleanse this system. As for your vessel," he paused, mandibles clicking in what intelligence reports identified as laughter. "Perhaps we shall preserve it in our Victory Museum, a curiosity to demonstrate human inadequacy." The transmission cut abruptly, leaving the bridge in momentary silence. "Well," Rhea sighed, "they're certainly confident." "With good reason, Commander," First Officer Dalton observed grimly. "Sensor analysis confirms 37 capital ships, each outgunning us at least 3-1 by conventional metrics." Rhea nodded, conventional being the operative word. She tapped her neural interface, activating the ship-wide communication system. "All stations, this is Commander Asari. Operation Thunderclap is now active. I repeat, Thunderclap is active. Commencement in 30 minutes. Throughout the Defiance, specialized crews began final preparations for a technology never before deployed in actual combat. The vessel itself appeared unremarkable, an older model Defender-class cruiser with visible battle scars and outdated weapon emplacements. Exactly the type of desperate last stand the Terran Confederation would be expected to make when protecting their farthest colony. Exactly the deception they had so carefully cultivated. "Vraxian fleet is maintaining position at 200,000 kilometers, reported Tactical Officer Chen. They appear to be waiting out the deadline." "Perfect," Rhea replied, entering commands into her console. "Deploy the NEST." From concealed bays along the Defiance's hull, dozens of microsatellites emerged, their matter black surfaces nearly invisible against the void of space. Each contained a quantum entanglement node, together forming the Neural Entanglement Supposition Tactical Network, or NEST. The system had been theoretical until 3 years ago, when Dr. Hiroshi Kimura made the breakthrough that solved the coherence problem. "NEST deployment complete," Lieutenant Park confirmed. "Entanglement synchronization at 87% and rising." Rhea addressed her crew. "The Vraxians think they're facing a single obsolete cruiser. They don't know that the Defiance was completely rebuilt from the inside out. They don't know about the NEST. And they certainly don't know about the Chimera Protocol." On her command, engineering activated the ship's true heart, a dimensional fold reactor that began drawing energy not just from this universe, but from parallel realities where the laws of physics varied slightly. Power readings climbed exponentially, channeled through systems that bore little resemblance to conventional human technology. "Entanglement complete," Park announced. NEST is fully operational. Initiate Chimera Protocol, Rhea ordered. Throughout the ship, crew members connected to neural interfaces, their consciousnesses linking through the quantum network. The Defiance was no longer just a vessel, it was becoming something unprecedented, a hybrid of machine and collective human thought, able to perceive and react to multiple probability states simultaneously. "They're scanning us," Chen reported, detecting power fluctuations. "Let them look," Rhea said, as she connected her own neural interface to the system. "It's time they learned why you don't underestimate humans." As consciousness expanded through the NEST, Rhea perceived the battlefield in ways impossible to describe in ordinary language. Probability clouds surrounded each Vraxian vessel, showing potential movements, weapon trajectories, and tactical decisions before they occurred. The Defiance existed simultaneously in multiple tactical states, a quantum superposition of offense and defense. The first Vraxian shots came exactly as predicted, heavy plasma bolts, targeting what they perceived as the Defiance's vulnerable propulsion systems. But the human ship wasn't where it appeared to be. The NEST had created a dimensional shadow, a perfect decoy, while the actual vessel had already shifted position microseconds before the Vraxians fired. "Return fire," Rhea commanded, her voice oddly harmonized as the crew's consciousness worked in perfect synchrony. The Defiance's weapons weren't the outdated laser batteries visible on its hull, but probability lancers, weapons that collapsed quantum uncertainty at targeted points, forcing atoms into impossible configurations that resulted in cascading molecular failure. The first Vraxian warship didn't explode so much as unravel, its matter reconfiguring in ways that violated the laws of physics. Panic spread through the alien fleet as 3 more ships suffered the same fate within seconds. Their formations broke, commanders issuing contradictory orders as the lone human vessel seemed to be everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. "They're attempting to coordinate a concentrated barrage," Dalton reported, his consciousness partially merged with the tactical systems. "Predicted and countered," Rhea responded, watching as the NEST calculated and executed the perfect defensive pattern. In the quantum realm, where the Defiance now partially existed, the crew could see shockwaves of realization spreading through the Vraxian command structure. Their mockery had transformed into disbelief, then terror, as ship after ship disintegrated. Supreme War Leader Drazkel's flagship attempted to retreat, powering up its dimensional drives. Rhea directed the NEST to focus on the vessel, collapsing probability fields around its engine core. "They're hailing us," Park announced. "Ignore it," Rhea commanded. They had their chance for diplomacy. Within 22 minutes, 34 Vraxian warships had been destroyed. The remaining 3, including the flagship, were effectively disabled, drifting in space with critical systems collapsed into quantum uncertainty. Only then did Rhea order the NEST to accept the Vraxian transmission. Drazkel appeared on-screen, his bioluminescent patterns erratic, his 4 eyes wide with incomprehension. "What are you?" the alien demanded, mandibles quivering. Rhea allowed herself a small smile. "Just humans, War Leader. You assumed we couldn't advance beyond conventional physics fast enough to match your technology. You were wrong. This vessel, it's some kind of prototype," Drazkel realized aloud. "The first of many," Rhea confirmed. "The Epsilon Eridani colony was never poorly defended. It was bait to test our new technology against the real Vraxian fleet rather than simulations." As the NEST began gradually powering down, returning the crew's consciousness to normal parameters, Rhea delivered the terms of surrender. The Vraxian Imperium would recognize all human territorial claims and establish a demilitarized zone along the border. The Supreme War Leader had no choice but to accept. The lone human ship they had mocked had, indeed, annihilated their fleet. And somewhere in Terran Confederation headquarters, the production of the second NEST-equipped vessel was already underway.